Billy here. Thinking about changing my name to Uncle Bumblefuck. That's got a lot of strange goings on. Yeah, I can't find my comb. That's nothing though. That's okay. You'll get used to it. I'll have to buy another one. First of all, on my last video, I was talked about the Guy de Maupassant. Yeah, I got that conflated with another story. My subscribers and my listeners are the best. They're very, very highly educated, refined people. I'm so happy to see that because a lot of times they catch my mistakes and they're so nice about it. I had it conflated with an O. Henry story. They are similar, very similar, but in one regard, the basic core of the story, but in details are vastly different. Guy de Maupassant's story was about, well, they were very wealthy people, influential wealthy people. And that was the necklace. And the necklace. Yeah. I conflated the necklace with The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Sounds crazy, but they are similar. Actually, if you Google both those, you'll get a bunch of people that wrote some stuff about the similarities. But I conflated them. The story is The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. I've read everything O. Henry did, and I conflated it with Guy de Maupassant for some reason. It just sounded so French. So I thought it was his, I guess. I'm doing this from memory. I should Google things before I talk about them, make sure I'm right. But I don't know. I don't like doing that. I'm old school. It'd be like cheating, right? Anyway, thank you, my subscribers, for pointing out in such a nice and kind and gentle way that I made a mistake. Anyway. Enough about that. I got some strange things going on here. It could be a glitch. It could be in the programs. That's the simplest explanation. But from what we know, what they're doing in Technoland, it might not be. I've always expected them to start screwing with people's emails and changing them and trying to cause trouble between people or make you think that somebody said something that they didn't. I mean, that's going to be the next step. Why wouldn't they? You know they would. I sent emails to people, and here recently, just recently I sent email to one person, and we're exchanging emails back and forth. We're having a conversation via email, right? And sometimes I go back, because I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm working full time. I'm trying to get everything together. I'm coordinating a whole bunch of different stuff and doing this. And I like to go back and go through all of I go back and go through this person's correspondence to me and mine to this person, and then back to me. I review them so I can remember the thread and what we're talking about, see if I've missed anything, right? And the last email I sent isn't all there on my phone. I read this person's email, and I read my response, and I read their response, and I read my response, and what I just wrote, there's a paragraph missing. It starts out, but I, and then nothing else, and then there's a big jump, and then the rest of the email. How the hell did that happen? I know I typed that. I know what I typed, not exactly in exact words, but I know what the idea was. But it's gone in what I sent. And then I decided, well, I gotta fill that in. I gotta send another email and say, I'm sorry, something went wrong. I was missing something important in there. And so I open up my PC and go through the conversation, and it's there. On my PC, it's complete just the way I typed it, but on my phone, there's a bunch of it missing. How can that be? Because they're both going to my email. I get a different version of the email I typed on my phone and sent on my phone than I get on my PC. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. That inculates something to me. Maybe a simple explanation. Maybe I just don't understand technology, but it's kind of disturbing, especially with some of the tactics that I know that they use. Do I sound paranoid, right? People that follow me know they know this stuff. I was doing information war. How long ago? Since like 2000, before 2014, I was really into blogging and commenting on some certain paleoconservative websites where the trolls would come in. Hasbro trolls, remember those? You could always make those easy. And I think there were some people that were just full-time professional trolls, and they would come in and they would be trying to derail the conversations. They'd be trying to spin us and teach us. They'd be trying to throw poop, and they went through stages as like a template. You identify one of them. There are several really smart people on this one particular blog, or one particular website. It was Tacky's Magazine. We had the commentariat, which is so much more interesting than the articles usually. They had some good writers. Jim Goad. They often had Theodore Dalrymple. Also Anthony Daniels. Anthony Daniels. He's always trying to spin us. And then they had some poofters that were, English peers that were really twisted. And they were obviously trying to spin us. And it was so funny because the commentariat would just tear them apart. And I think we spun some of them. And the trolls would come in backing up, or you would ask a troll, why would you say that? What's the purpose of your statement? What are you trying to do? And then maybe a suggestion or a theory. And then they would start just throwing poop. The U.S. military, the British military, they have an entire division, at least one division devoted to internet warfare. And you look at their stated goal, their mission, which is public, you can look it up, and it is to go to enemy websites where, enemies, people that are contrary to U.S. interest. And, people that don't believe the government are contrary to U.S. interests. And NATO interest, people that don't buy the lies and expose them, well, you're an enemy. And according to their doctrine, they're to go to enemy websites to disrupt things, to steer things, to cause trouble. And that's what they do. They go in and they try to spin you. They try to back up the narrative. And if that doesn't work, they just start throwing poop. And sometimes they try to turn people against each other. They're not very sophisticated, though. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed. It's a division in the military that's been assigned to that. The British military has one. I think they were the first to admit that they did that. Actually, they bragged about it. But you're matching wits with, British soldiers. Well, they're in the army. And they usually go to throwing poop almost immediately because it's about the only thing they can do. But anyway, I'm getting off subject here. You know what they're doing. You know what they're trying to do. You know what certain forces, certain very powerful, well-funded with your tax money sources are trying to disrupt things, or trying to vandalize your conversations on the blogs and on the commentaries and on the internet sites. Oh, why wouldn't they do it to your emails? There's no reason why they wouldn't. I'm surprised they haven't. They can change the content of your emails to spin you. I guess they're still collecting data. In case you don't know it, they've already, this is years ago when I discovered this, they've already established, there was 1,100, and this was back in my techie days. This is got to be several years ago, 9, 10 years ago maybe. They had already established 1,100 personality types, and you're assigned to one of them. You're put in one of these categories. 1,100, that's pretty detailed. And it's probably a lot more than that now. They get all this data, all this analysis, and okay, you like this, but you don't like that. You look at that and you ignore that. You spin through that. You bought this and you don't buy that. You're in this area. You're in this demographic region. You're related to so and so. They got all this information to put you in a category. And why do they do that? Well, they want to manipulate you, and they do that by knowing about you. And now it's more automated. There's less human touch involved, except at very high levels. And then they have smart people and not British soldiers. I worked with British soldiers in Kandahar for 4 years. I have a very low opinion of them, quite frankly. They're funny, but they're not very nice, and they love stealing things. I had to recover a lot of stuff that they stole from us. They pride themselves on it. Anyway, now they're coming up with this metaverse, this alternate reality that you can strap on your head and interact with other people instead of in person. What's safer, you won't get, diseases, right? They would love for all your interaction with other people on any level to be through them. They can alter it. They can analyze it. They can change it. I think it's pretty amazing. I'm gonna have to plug this phone in. I'm sorry. Uncle Bumblefuck strikes again. I started out on a low battery. I've been really busy this morning. I think it's about 6:30 here at Rocky Top, Tennessee. I'm gonna I have a short cord, so it's gonna be a weird angle. I gotta plug this in though. Okay, let's make sure I can finish this vid. Where was I? It's kind of dark back here. Where it's going, they've got these categories. Oh, let me explain it this way. It's like an engine. It's like a modern engine management system. Let's say you have a Toyota. I don't know this to be a fact, but I think they have one computer system will fit in different cars. Theoretically, it's possible. So just hang with me here if you're a mechanic and you know the answer to that. And they program it for each one. Okay, you have a engine management system. Okay, this one has a program for the V8. This one has a program for the V6. This one has a program for a 4-cylinder, right? Program it and then hook it up to the sensors, and it manages the engine. That's your category. One of your 1,100 or more now personality types. Okay, your program for your digital persona is programmed for your personality type. And then the sensors, the data, everything you do, where you place your cursor, they're monitoring that. Where you stop with your cursor, some people use the cursor for a finger. Some personality types use their cursor like a finger looking at stuff. Where you stop in your scrolling and look for how long, all that's analyzed. That's the sensors. And the sensors feed back the information to the management system, the personality type. Whether you're a V8, a V6, or any of the other 1,000 categories, and that management system analyzes it in that light and produces algorithmically a program for managing you, for, telling the injectors what to do and that and whatnot. Am I mixing this up too much? Your feed, what they send you to look at, to get your interests, to distract you from important things like finding the truth. Things, oh, you'll like this. Here, we'll put this in your feed. This will distract you. This will get you off that trail you're on. And oh, look at this. And it might be kind of similar, but it's been approved for the narrative, and it's put in your feed. Any sort of disruption, things they think will tempt you. They know your weaknesses. You pause on these attractive women an awful lot, so we'll send lots and lots of boobies to you that you can get distracted by and lost in. That'll waste your time. I mean, that's their purpose. It sounds demonic, doesn't it? Well, demonic interests and materialist interests are often the same thing. What was that quote? I am Satan, therefore I know all things human. Yeah. Corruption. They want to corrupt you. They want to distract you. They want to guide you off into fruitless efforts, fruitless endeavors. And they know how to do it. And they've got it down to a hell of science. Hell of science. So you've got your personality type as the core, what they think you are, which is probably pretty accurate. And then all your activity is like the sensors on an engine that send signals to the management system and filters it through that management system, knowing what you are, and then produces outputs. Not direct outputs, but outputs to something they can send you. And this is all tied in with industrial and financial and military intelligence operations, because that's what it is. It's where it came from. And now we're going to the metaverse, and we're going to hook it up even more. I've never put one of those things on, and I never will. But from what I've seen on their advertisements that they've sent me to try to get me interested, fat chance, it's kind of cartoonish. But it won't be long. Look at your video games, how they've changed, how realistic some of them are. Their video games have gotten to the point where Ukrainian military and U.S. military can use, or U.S. media can use footage from a video game and say it's something that happened in Ukraine and expect it to pass off. It gets caught, but it's that realistic. And they're going to make this metaverse stuff that realistic. Photos of your dead grandpa, and you can go fishing with him and stuff. Yeah, really. That's what they're going to. And people will go, oh, that's so wonderful. That's because they don't give a rat's ass about truth and reality. They're just into their own entertainment. I did a video a long time ago about in a cafe, some Vietnam vets were sitting there, and I sat next to them and listened to them, and I could tell that they had conflated the movies that they saw with what they did in Vietnam. That could happen when you get old and your arteries start getting hard and you're on all kinds of medication, and possibly you were on lots of drugs back when you were in Vietnam. These guys were just typical boomers, and they had completely lost touch with reality. My God, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to get old and start thinking that I was in movies and stuff, and that my reality is stuff that I saw on TV. Well, fortunately, that's probably not going to happen to me because I don't freaking watch TV. But that's one of the dangers of it, I would think, and movies and getting into the media and losing yourself into your own entertainment. Pretty scary stuff. If you care about truth. If you don't, then, well, that's just fine. Go to sleep. Oh, what are you being so mean for, Uncle Bilby? Those people, they're just having a good time. As long as they're happy. We can be happy by getting a lobotomy, for fuck's sake. This is the exact same logic with that. It's amazing how many people go with it. Anyway, there's some strange goings on. I'm going to shut this off now and keep it short because I don't want to have to download it for hours. I'm going to try to put a lot of videos in today. I have a day off, for good or for ill. Anyway, a lot of people out there that love truth, and you're not going to separate them away from it. They'll probably have to come up with some sort of final solution eventually for us, but ultimately going to fail because the universe is made out of truth. Bildy signing out.